What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Veteran and the Rookie Podcast. This is your veteran currently speaking, and that is the rookie currently sipping.
Hi guys, I'm John.
Yep, so today we're going to be doing our
That's unfortunate.
NFL predictions. It's a little early. It's still July, at least when we're recording this, and hopefully when it's released. I would hope so. So it may be a touch early, but whatever. Screw it. We got to do something. So we're going to be also going kind of based off of our lists that we've done for the last 8 episodes now, taking a deep dive into each NFL division. And we don't solely base our predictions off that, but, use it as a little bit of a template going into it and whatnot, and then see where our actual predictions line up and where they don't line up with some of our deep dive expert analysis.
Yeah.
So, without further ado,
we're going to start in the NFC. We're going to start, so last 8 weeks of the podcast, we were doing a series where we went through each division and we ranked each team by their players and their attributes and out of a certain amount of score that we could give them.
Mm-hmm.
For example, quarterback can be in between 1 and 20, and running back can be between 1 and 8. I know weird numbers, but that's how we did it because we're the boss around here. We also didn't have head coach, so we'll do that next year. But
yeah, that's kind of seen in some of our maybe lower talented teams with good coaches, such as the Giants.
Yeah. So we're going to start. We're going to just list off all of our NFC teams and who would win based on just point value here. Start us off, Benay. What division do you want?
We'll just go NFC North. That was the first NFC division we hit in the series. My top teams there, I got the Lions with 70 points. So they'd be winning the division. Packers with 68, Vikings with 67, and the Bears with 60.
My Packers were winning the division, or tied at least with the Viking or with the Lions.
And you give Green Bay the edge.
I just put Green Bay on top because it was on top when I started writing it out.
W.
So yeah, I have Green Bay and the Lions at 66, the Vikings at 65, and the Bears at 55.5. And then my North overall has 252.5 points.
Oh, I didn't go into overalls. I'm not that fancy.
Oh, I'm super fancy.
If you want to know the overalls, listeners, add them up yourself.
Yeah, you can do that. You feel free. And then I do think the Lions are going to win this division, honestly.
Mm-hmm. We'll get into that in a minute. Are we taking a deep dive just all around
divisions
here, or are we just going to, or should we stay in the North here, camped out and do our predictions?
Let's do the North first.
Yeah, let's camp out here in the North.
Let's go to the worst division in football right now, the NFC South.
Oh, so we are going to a different division.
Oh.
I thought we were going to do our predictions.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's do the predictions.
Okay, yeah.
I'm tripping.
So you're telling me who you think is going to win the division, the Detroit Lions. What do you have for them win-loss-wise?
So I went to a website on the internet and
playoffpredictions.com. Check it out.
That's the one.
Spend a lot of time there.
Spent a lot of time here. So much time that I didn't even do the point value, which Benea did. But I did it. So my Lions are going to be the 3rd seed. They're going to go. They are going to. It's not my prediction. They are going to go 13 and 4. And
wow.
Yeah, it's yeah. And then my Packers as the 3, and then my Packers are going to go 11 and 6, and my Vikings are going 8 and 8, and my Bears are 5 and 12.
All right. Did you have much, I guess, reasoning behind it or whatever, or you were kind of just picking the games like, yep, that team's going to win?
So for most of it was, that team's going to win. And then for some of the Packers games, I was kind of like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers can pull this one off. and so
be like your predictions last year where you're like accidentally right.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I think Jordan Love, I think Jordan Love can be good. It's a really young team. But
I think Brett Starr will do awesome.
Yeah, I think so. First start, but we'll see. And I really like the Lions. I think this is their year. Last year was supposed to be the year, and then it kind of their
really
defense,
wasn't. I'm just saying their defense.
Yeah, well, their defense was not it, and their defense picked it up the last 6 or 7 games or something. They allowed 20 points like 2 times, or more than 20 points. So they did pretty good, and they picked it up. If they can keep that up, and then they're scorchingly, extremely hot offense, which was just crazy good the first couple games of last year. Their defense was crazy bad.
Yeah.
So if they can get that defense and if they can be cooking with that offense, I think it's completely reasonable to have them going 13-4 or at least 12.
Yeah, I also have Detroit winning the division for the first time since 91 or 93 or whatever it was.
Yeah, buddy.
I have them going 11-6 though, also getting the 3 seed in the or actually no, I have them getting the 2 seed at 11-6.
Wow.
In the NFC. I think the NFC is a lot weaker going into this year. It was pretty weak last year too, but I don't think that's changed too much, especially now that Aaron Rodgers is out of the conference. I think the conference is even weaker now. But yeah, I really like what Detroit has cooking there. Of course they got the hunk Jared Goff leading them on offense there. They got good weapons. They just traded for Denzel Mims from the Jets, who was disappointing there, but maybe, with a fresh start for him, he'll be able to, blossom a little bit. He'll have some chances with the suspension to Jameson Williams for the first 6 games of the season as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll give him some chances. I got Detroit going 11-6. I have my Green Bay Packers going 9-8 and just squeaking into the playoffs there as a 7 seed.
Oh, my seed. The Packers are 6 seed for me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you all got them as a wild card as well. I have them starting off all right, and then they get down to, I think, 4-8 or something like that before pulling off a bunch of wins, kind of like what they did last year, except not sucking in Week 18. And then sneaking into the playoffs, and then we'll get to our playoff predictions here in a little bit later on in the episode. But I do have them sneaking into the postseason in the Jordan Love era. 3rd in the North, I have the Minnesota Vikings at 7-10. You go back and look, I think they won 11 one-score games in 2022. And historically, teams that do that have a major regression because they could have very easily went 7-10 last year. And so I think they are going to regress this season. They might still be, 9 or 10 wins and sneak into the playoffs. I have them at 9-8 or at 7-10.
That's weird. Mine are at 8-8.
Did you skip a game?
I
Click on their schedule.
I suppose I skipped a game. I think I'll have them at 8 and
Let's see. You
8-9.
did not pick their game against the Raiders.
I think they lose that.
Ooh.
Never mind. They win. They win against the Raiders in week 14, guys.
There you go.
Spoiler
Lock
alert.
it up. Put your bets on it now.
Sorry.
So you have them going 9-8, right?
I do have them
Vikings?
going 9-8.
You have them going 9-8. I have them going 7-10, and then the Chicago Bears. I think they're going to get better. I'm kind of a believer in Justin Fields, even as a Packers fan. They finally got him like a good weapon. Darnell Mooney is solid. Chase Claypool's not a bad 3, and of course DJ Moore, who they acquired from the Panthers via trade. What I don't like, and I kind of talked about this more so in our NFC North deep dive episode, so if you want to listen to that, it's somewhere out there. I don't like their defense, and I don't like their coaching staff really, and that's kind of, it's like all it really feels like they got is they got Justin Fields and a couple of receivers. That offensive line is still pretty bad, although they did spend a high draft pick on a lineman, but not a huge believer in the Bears as a whole being good this year.
Facts. Yeah, I had them going 5-12. So.
So we're pretty close. No exact predictions, but we do have 2 playoff teams there.
0-6 in
the
their
North.
division.
And that lines up with my predictions as well. Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears, with my predictions and then my deep dive analysis.
Yeah, the Lions and Packers for me are tied, which I don't agree with anymore.
So you could just totally swap it.
Swap
and it would be
it.
right.
Yeah.
We'll just say it's right.
You want to go to the South next?
Oh, down in the trenches.
The South.
Oh, the gutters
The
of the NFL.
South because it's down.
Get it?
So my actual point score for them, I have it Saints at 68, which is way higher than they think they should be, because that means they're higher than the Packers and the Lions.
Oh wow, that's right, because they're both 66.
Yeah, I think I did. We think we did Saints first, and then I don't know how we did it, but I'm wrong. And then I have Falcons a whole 7.5 points below them at 60.5. Which
Wow.
I think they're all very similar teams in this division, and none of them are good. And I have Buccaneers at 58, and then I have Panthers at 56.5, and then overall they're a 243 division.
Wow. So with the difference between the Saints and Panthers like that, surely your predictions lined up.
Uh, so what did you have, Matt?
I want to hear what I'll go into mine in a minute.
Oh, well, okay. So it didn't line up.
Whoa.
For whatever reason, I got them confused, and I thought one of them was better than the other, but I just missed. And I have my Panthers going 9-8.
Wow.
above
Winning the
500.
division
Winning the division, crushing it.
with rookie Bryce Young.
Yeah, just killing it out there. Hopefully they do everything in shotgun so they can see over the line.
Yeah.
But besides that, I think it'd be okay. And then my 68 Saints are 7-10. And then the Buccaneers are 2-14-1. I threw a tie in there because I thought it'd be cool.
Wow. And they're not last?
And then my Falcons are also 2-14-1. They tied with each other.
Who has the first overall pick? You can click on draft order there.
I think it's the Texans, but we'll get to that
okay.
later.
We'll get to that when we get to the AFC. Wow. I don't think they're going to do quite that bad. But I don't hate the Panthers pick. I could see
did,
that
though.
happening.
Apparently, I hated that pick because I gave them a 7.5 point, or no, 12.5 point difference.
But that doesn't matter on the field. That's why it's the Paper Bowl.
Truth.
So what I got going on here in the NFC South, very similar to yours. I got the Saints 68.5.
What?
Got the Falcons at 66.
What?
Bucks 61.5. Panthers 59.5. And then to my actual predictions, I have the Saints winning the division at 10-7. I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback. Obviously, he's not great, but he's an upgrade over Jameis Winston or Andy Dalton. They got a good running back duo. It might just be singular. Depends what happens with Alvin Kamara, but they got Jamal Williams, and he's pretty good. And the rest of the Saints are also there.
Yeah, I forgot about Jamal Williams.
They got Chris Olave, Michael Thomas for 3 weeks.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
And yeah, they still got Cam Jordan. Still got Marshawn Lattimore, right, in the secondary. So I think they're still a pretty good team.
What are your scores on them?
I got them at 10-7.
10-7. Yeah, that's better than 7-10.
It is. Second in the South is the Atlanta Falcons. I have them going 7-10.
Not 2-14-1.
Not 2-14. And well, if you want to hear more about what we think about the teams, you can go to whatever episode. We have 8 episodes dedicated to the deep dives, as we've mentioned. We got the Carolina Panthers going 6-11. But I do think, especially if Bryce Young is good as a rookie, that they could make a run for that division there, get themselves a playoff spot. And then finally, you got Baker Mayfield's Bucks at 4-13.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm a bit too drastic with mine. I think I always overdo it, one side or another.
I mean, this isn't quite as bad as last year's, so far at least.
So far.
Because if you guys remember last season
Don't
in our
think about it.
predictions,
Don't think about it.
John had the Bucks going 16-1. He had the Cowboys and Rams both going 15-2.
Cowboys almost went 15-2.
Not quite.
They're really close. They're closer than the Bucks.
Yeah, that's true. So, you're a little more balanced with it, whatnot. But I mean, it's predictions. Like no one's gonna perfectly predict it. So have a little bit of fun.
Have so much fun. Let's go. You want to go East or West?
Let's go to the West.
Okay. My West, I have the 49ers on the top. And they have an 80.5 overall, so they're leagues above everyone else so far. And then I have my Seahawks at a 73, my Rams at a 62, and Cardinals at a 54.5, which is the lowest out of all my teams. And then overall, the division is a 270, which is the best so far.
Oh, wow. So even with the Cardinals and Rams there, Seahawks and Niners really lifting them up.
Yeah, but this... it's the second best in the NFC, and I think it's the worst. It would be the second worst in the AFC. So, yeah. I guess I can do my little
what are your
dive.
predictions looking like there in the
little deep dive?
West?
I have the 49ers going 14-3.
Ooh.
And they're going 6-0 against their division, which I could see them going 5-1 or 4-2. I think they could lose a game against Seattle. Yeah, they're the 2 seed, and then I have Seattle as the 7th seed with 9-7, which is what I think they finished with last year, right?
9-7. That means you missed a game, I think, right?
9-7. Oh man, I'm big and dumb. I don't care. 10-7, and then I have the Rams at 6-11, and then I have the Cardinals at 2-14. So I don't know if the Cardinals will do that.
So you must have missed the Seahawks Cardinals game.
Yeah, probably. That's fine. I don't care. 2-15.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm missing stuff, but I'm really big and ugly.
Same.
Oh, we need to stop. We just both did the same same goofy laugh.
Right. You got anything else to say about the West?
I think if the Niners can get their quarterback situation figured out, which is I think they should put. I think they should get rid of Trey Lance and trade him for something, and then use Brock Purdy. Because you used him last year and it worked out, and you can't just put any quarterback in there, obviously, because they tried putting
Josh Johnson.
They tried putting him in there and it did not work. So I think if they can figure that out and figure out that they need Purdy, or if Trey Lance can be good, I think they can be up there. And I think Geno will be good for the Seahawks. I think the Rams will do a tad better than they did last year, but I still think they kind of sold their soul for that Super Bowl.
# worth it.
Also, and then the Cardinals are just hot, stinky garbage.
Yeah, we've talked enough about the Cardinals.
We really have. We talked so much about the Cardinals.
In the regular season, we're not even going to talk about them.
We're going
to talk about them a lot because I think that's going to be a very common pick for blowout of the week.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Tune in this season for a lot of Arizona Cardinals talk. But yeah, with the 49ers, it sounds like Brock Purdy's on track to be healthy for the season.
I sure hope so.
And that would solve a lot of things because I do think he should be the guy there. And I would agree. I think they should trade Trey Lance. I know Minnesota's been a popular destination. I still think that the Vikings should trade for him, sit him behind Cousins for a year, and then start him next season.
Perk Thuggins. Such a cool guy.
Even if you only get like a second-round pick for him, which sucks because you gave up 3 firsts to get him. You mortgaged your future for a backup quarterback. Or maybe he's really good. I don't know. But my NFC West, unless you had something else to add.
No.
Okay.
What are your numbers?
My numbers. I have the Seahawks and the Niners both at a 76.
That's crazy.
It was. I was surprised when I did that and had them at the same. I was especially expecting the Niners to be higher than that. I have the Rams. It's a big fall after that. Rams at 58. Cardinals at 51. They barely broke 50 out of 105. And so then my predictions then lining up with that, I had Seattle going 11-6, winning the division.
That's crazy.
So sorry, Niners fans, but it's the NFL. Wild things happen any given Sunday. Got the Niners getting the 6th seed, so the Seahawks are getting the 3 at 11-6. Niners at 10-7, getting the 6th seed. Got the Rams at 8-9, just missing out on a winning record. And then I also have the Cardinals going 2-15 because I don't think they're going to be very good, and I think they're going to be lucky to get very many wins. I have them, I think, beating the Bears and the Texans, and even then, it's pretty close.
Yeah, that's something we could agree on, though.
Yeah, boom, nailed it.
Boom.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks over the Niners. I don't even necessarily think they're a better team, but it's just like I said, unpredictable things happen because. It just does.
Because they do. That's what happens, I guess.
So, with the predictions, it's really tough to predict unpredictable things.
That's true.
And so watch the Seahawks go 6-11 now, and I'm an idiot. But that's what I got going on in the West.
Funny.
That's kind of my spicy take on the West there. Seattle winning the division. Geno Smith, MVP. Not, but
we'll want to take us on the eventually. East?
To the East? Oh, lead the way. I guess I will, if you insist. For my points wise here, got Philadelphia. So when we did the NFC East episode, I forgot to give out extra points. And so I did go back and I edited my points a little bit just based off extra points. And a lot of them went to the Eagles. I originally had them at an 86.5, but after all the extra points I gave them, they are now a 92.5, which is just barely better than what Kylie gave the Ravens.
That's crazy.
Go back to our AFC North episode if you want to.
I thought you
See
gave him
that.
like a 94.
It was something. I thought it was a 92. It was something insane.
That's way too high.
Got my Cowboys there. My Cowboys? The frick? The Dallas Cowboys.
Benea's favorite team.
Yep, at a 73.5. Very big difference. Got the Redskins at a 58.5 and the Giants at a 58. And, the Giants were a playoff team last year, but they're my second lowest rated team just on paper. And that's why I'm saying we got to bring in like coaches and that kind of stuff when we do our deep dives next year, because I think Brian Dable really elevates that team to be better than what their talent may say, according to our expert eyes, because we definitely weren't wrong.
Yeah.
So then going to my predictions then for that, I have the Philadelphia Eagles once again nabbing the top seed in the conference, going 12-5. Because I don't, like I said, I think the NFC is pretty weak, and 12-5 I think could very well get it done. I'm not sure who else is really going to compete with them, unless maybe the Niners, but my hot take is already that the Niners won't even win their division. Behind them, I got the Dallas Cowboys, 10-7. That's the 5 seed there in the NFC, the top wild card spot. Despite the Giants being rated a 58 for me, I gave them an 8-9 record. So still, a little bit of regression. They did just pay Saquon Barkley today as we're recording. He was like, I don't want to sign the franchise tag. And then instead he signed a 1-year deal that was like $2 million more, which like that's good, but like, felt like a lot of drama for nothing.
$2 million is kind of a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but it was like a lot of times I'm not going to sign this. I want a long-term deal. And then he signed a 1-year deal.
I understand it.
But like, honestly, I don't think that's a bad move. A lot of people clowning on it, and maybe if he has a really big year this year, he'll get paid either by the Giants or maybe by someone else. But
hopefully he goes to the Bills. That'd be cute.
That's for the future. And then got the Washington Redskin Commanders football team, whatever they're going to be known as in the future, 6-11. Bottom dwellers in the East.
So you have the Commanders and the Giants switched around with your points?
Yeah. They're a half-point difference. But I got them.
A half-point difference will get you 2 more wins, apparently.
But I could also see in a weaker NFC, Washington making, getting the 7 or 6 seed even, especially if either Sam Howell is decent or if Jake Brisket comes in and is just Jake Brisket. Because, I think he could get them to 9 wins. So, because they got a good defense and some pretty solid players around them, despite what my points say. What do you got going on in the East?
In the East, I have the Eagles as the number 1 seed. You'd be dumb to not have them there. Stupid.
Someone voted on our NFC East episode, the Cowboys winning the division.
That'd be dumb. Imagine they just get blown out every game and just lose. So I have them at a 91.5, just half a point or a point below you, and then I have my Cowboys at my Cowboys.
Our Cowboys.
we have our Cowboys at a 75.
We're both diehard Cowboys fans.
And then the Giants, not our Giants. Yeah. The Giants are at a 64, and the Commies are at a 59.5. Overall, they get a 289, which is the best in the division by 19 points, or best in the conference, whatever this is.
Yeah.
By 19 points, but it's still the 4th best in the AFC, which is crazy.
Just shows only be above the South probably then.
Yeah. So that just shows you how good the freaking AFC is. And so I do have my Eagles as the 1 seed. I have them going 15-2 though.
Who do you have them losing to? I'm curious to see.
I guess we can look. I have them losing to
the Seahawks.
What am I looking at? Where am I?
And then
I'm losing to the Jets and the Seahawks.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, whatever.
On a schedule that has the Niners, the Bills, the Cowboys twice, the Chiefs.
They got a harder schedule this year.
They're a good team.
Yeah, they have a harder schedule this year, but
But they're going to be better.
Yeah, whatever. So, and then I think this is way too high for the Cowboys. When doing these, I'm always looking and just going through. I'm like, yeah, they won that game. Yeah, they could probably squeeze that one out. And then
Not
I'm
really
just
looking at their record.
And then I'm just like, oh, the Cowboys are at 13-4. So,
hey, at least it's not 15-2 this time.
Yeah, it's 2 off. But so I don't think they'll be 15 or 13-4. I think they can probably get 12 wins or maybe 11 or even 10. They might squeeze.
Ooh, that's what I got.
Squeeze down to 10. And then I have my Giants at a 7-10 record. and then also the Commies are at 7-10. And I think these could both be good teams, but I don't think they'll be good enough teams.
I could see either one of them being wild card. I just was talking about how Washington could be, and the Giants were a year ago too.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine teams, and they could definitely squeak the spot away from Seattle or. Well, I have Seattle in here, but they could squeeze a spot away from Denver, or what am I talking about?
Green Bay.
That's the one.
Yeah.
they could do something. They could squeak a lot of things. What am I?
Yeah. You also got to remember, too, it's like on average, there's 6 new playoff teams every year. And so obviously everyone who made the playoffs last year won't make the playoffs this year. Teams are getting better. Teams are out here getting worse.
Has that ever happened, though, where it's all the same teams?
I don't think so. That'd be kind of wild if it was. I mean, it might have happened like back when there were like 4 playoff teams in like the 60s, but like I doubt it's happened in like the modern era or since like 2002 when we got all 32 teams. So that's the NFC there. So quick recap of then my division winners and whatnot. Eagles are the 1. You got Lions at 2, Seahawks at 3, Saints at 4, got Cowboys at 5, Niners at 6, Packers at 7. And then we'll get into, I guess, playoff predictions here at the end. But
I have my Eagles at 1. I have the Niners at 2, the Lions at 3, the Panthers, unfortunately, at 4, the Cowboys at 5, the Packers at 6, and then I have the Seahawks at 7, which is exactly how it's going to go.
Mm-hmm. Don't even bother watching this season, folks. We already wrote the script, and we're leaking it out to our listener.
A little bit of leakage, yeah. You want to go over to the AFC now?
Ooh, I don't know what else we're going to do.
How do you feel about the AFC?
Let's see. Which division are we talking about?
You could definitely go to the South.
All right. Well, I'm not feeling great about that one.
I don't love the South.
It's just the South in general is just terrible.
Bummer.
Doesn't matter the conference. For points, I have the Jags on top with 72.
Oh!
What do you have?
The Jags on top at 72.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Did we match?
I guess.
Did we not catch that?
No.
The frick?
Crazy world we live in.
Oh, man. I would have, popped champagne on the episode if I'd...
We can do that after.
Okay. We'll go do that afterwards.
Yeah.
We'll get hammered.
Drunk even.
On a, like a Tuesday afternoon. I got Titans at the 2, 64.
Oh.
Tied with them are the Texans, also 64, and the Colts at a 61. And then, so how that translates into my predictions, I got the Jags winning. And now, I remember back in February and March, some of my way too early predictions were Jags going 14-3 and whatnot, because that just felt like something that could happen. But then after doing the deep dive into the South, and it's they have Trevor Lawrence, but there's no other reason, to me at least, that they would be so good unless Trevor Lawrence is the MVP and throws 50 touchdowns.
That'd be kind of cool.
But outside of that, just taking a deep dive into their roster, I was that doesn't look like it, and that's why they only get a 72, which translates to 10-7, 4 seed in the AFC. And they're the only team I have with a winning record. Now, despite being the lowest ranked in the division points-wise for me, I have the Colts going 7-10, finishing second. I have the Tennessee Titans going 6-11, and the Houston Texans going 5-12. Any questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say, any other words on that you have?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Titans could be. I think they could be, sneaky to win this. I think a lot of people are discounting them, and they still got a solid team there. I think Ryan Tannehill's overhated. I think he's an underrated quarterback. Derrick Henry is still one of the best running backs in the league. They just signed Hopkins, so that would actually influence the points a little bit more. Probably give them, I'd say, 2 more points to their wide receiver room. So they're a 66 now, which is not bad, honestly, for my rankings at least. My points were all pretty low. Unless you're the Eagles. But yeah, I think the Titans could be a sneaky playoff team, but I think the Jags are going to take it. I think Trevor Lawrence continues to get better.
Sure. For myself, I also have the Jags on top with a 72.
I can't believe we didn't catch that.
I know, it's crazy. That was the worst thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
He just tried to high-five me for those of you listening.
You tried to high-five me.
Well,
High five.
It's okay. And then I have my Titans at a 68. The
Your
Colts
Titans.
at a 62, and then the Texans at a 57.
The Texans at a 79.
Yeah. And overall, they have 259 points, which crazily is, I think, it's third in the NFC. It's the worst in the
I thought you
AFC.
were going to say, like, crazily, it's fourth in the AFC.
Crazy how that works. Yeah, it's better than two other teams in the NFC or two
Wow.
other conferences.
Divisions.
That's the words.
Yep.
Yeah, the way that translates into wins for pick'ems, I had the Jags going 12-5. Yeah, they showed a lot of they showed a lot last year, and if
Especially
they can,
second half.
yeah, if they can do that second half thing without the first half thing of throwing 4 picks and then throwing 4 touchdowns, if they can show more of that and round that off, and just refine that through the offseason, I think they can be really good. That's why I give them 12-5. Then I have the Titans at a 7-10, and then I have the Colts at a 6-11, and the Texans going 0-17.
Wow.
So
You think C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson and everyone's going to be that bad? Think they got worse?
I just didn't think they'd win any of the games that they were like lined up
Really?
against. And then you were like, well, I gave the Bucks a couple wins over like the Texans and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'll give them that win. And then it just ended up being 0-17.
Maybe. I like their coaching staff that they got there, but they're also unproven.
Yeah,
It's just because they're pulling from San Francisco, and normally when teams do that, they do pretty good.
I think they could get 5 wins.
Yeah, I do too. That's why I have them winning 5 games.
And yeah, whatever.
Hey, you got to be bold with your predictions, though. 0-17.
0-17, first time in the NFL history ever.
And most of the time when people are confident that there's going to be like a winless team or whatever, they're just like wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember that like the 2019 Dolphins, it was like, oh, they look like they're one of the worst teams ever. And then they won 5 games and like they beat the Patriots when the Patriots needed to win to get the 2 seed and all that. So again, that goes to show predictions, like that's all they are. Like no one cares.
Yeah. What do you want to do next?
Let's go to want to go to the West?
Sure.
We can talk about the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, who I gave the score of 84, which was second in the league, top in the AFC, only behind the Eagles. Behind them are the Chargers, 12 points less at a 72. Behind them are the Raiders at a 70, which I don't even agree with myself on that one, really, because that's the same I have as like the Lions. It's like 12th in the league or something. And then the Denver Broncos at a 65 overall. Again, this is where coaching points I think would matter, because the Raiders wouldn't get a lot of points because I don't think Josh McDaniels is a good coach, and I think Sean Payton is a good coach. So the Broncos would get some more points and probably be above the Raiders then. But we didn't do it that way, and that's the way that it is. Now going over to my predictions of it, I have Kansas City going 12-5. That's going to get them the 2 seed in the AFC. I have Denver going 9-8 because I think coaching is going to be good for them. I think Russell Wilson will be not terrible. I think he can manage to be the 15th best quarterback in the NFL. Bold, I know. But yeah, 9-8, just missing out on the playoffs there. Then you got the Chargers at 8-9. I like Justin Herbert. I like the talent. They're the Chargers. And I'm also like not sure how good of a coach Brandon Staley really is. And then I got the Raiders going 5-12, bottom in the West there. Because again, I don't think Josh McDaniels is good. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is only going to play like 8 games before his leg falls off. I don't trust Josh Jacobs to have another big season. He very well could though. And they got Devontae Adams, and that's it. And Max Crosby on defense.
Real. So I have the Chiefs also top of this division, but we're half a point off on 2 teams.
Oh, which ones?
The Chiefs and the Broncos.
What do you have, Matt?
I have the Chiefs at a 83.5. I do think they still are that team.
Oh, yeah.
Duh. And
as long as they got Mahomes and Andy Reid there, I don't care.
And they got the added bonus of the best tight end in the league. So
Yep.
And a lot of other good pieces too. And we didn't do coaches, but if we did,
that's another like 20 points.
Yeah, that's crazy. But so they're also my second ranked overall, but it's a lot closer. And then I have my Chargers at a 76.5. They have a lot of talent. We always talk about them winning the Paper Bowl, and this is they didn't win
even win it.
They didn't win the Paper Bowl. I think they're what are they for me? The Chargers are 8th point wise
That's
overall.
not bad though.
Yeah, so they didn't win, but they're close. And
Classic Chargers.
classic Chargers. And then I have the Raiders at a 68 overall.
Oh, that's actually not too far from me.
Yeah, I think they have those two good pieces on offense, and I think that'll probably get them most of their points.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then they have a good Max Crosby. But and then the Broncos are at a 64.5. Overall, a 292.5. So that's crazy. And they're third. They're third in the AFC.
Oh man.
Yeah, and that translates to the Chiefs getting the 3rd seed at 12-5.
Ooh, it's winning on that, or on the record, not the seed. But.
I don't think the Broncos are going to be good. I think everyone's giving like, oh, it's a second year. It's the hope of whatever, bullcrap, new coaching. I don't think so. I have the Chargers in the 7th seed, and they're second in their division, and they're going to go 11-6. And then I have the Raiders going 6-11, just like you did. And then, or is that
close? I went 5-12,
something like that. And then I have the Broncos going 3-14. I don't think they'll be that bad necessarily, but
yeah,
they
I
could
think
be.
they're gonna be better than they were last year, even if it's simply just because of the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Because they still got, I think, 4 or 5 wins last year.
4, because I guessed 5, and
Okay,
I was
yeah.
1 off last year.
Yeah, with like the worst coach
Uh-huh.
in the league, and I do. One of those wins I think did come after he was fired, but still, fired on Christmas Day.
Sucks, dude.
Don't be a bad coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's all I
I
have
like
to
it.
say about the West.
Even lower on the Broncos now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to. Want to go to the north, or do you want to go? Where else do we have? The east. Let's go to the north.
Let's go to the sure.
We'll save the Buffalo Bills and their friends there for last. So, in the north, I give the Bengals 81 points. Got the Ravens at a 77. Did you also give them an 81?
I did.
What the frick? We went like all 8 of those episodes like, oh man, we never matched. And like,
That's how we sounded.
actually no, it's because I didn't do extra points until after the episode.
Guess we
So
will
it
be
doesn't even count.
popping 2 bottles of champagne after
Ooh
this.
man, watch out for us. I got my keys in my pocket.
Alcoholics.
I got Ravens at a 77, Browns at a 76, Steelers at a 75. It's just a countdown at that point. And so into my predictions, that led to the Bengals being 13-4 and getting that top seed in the AFC, getting themselves a first round bye.
13-4. That's me too.
Whoa.
High five with me. There it is.
Ravens going 11-6. That's the 6th
Oh, me
seed
too.
in the AFC. I have the Steelers going 9-8. I think they could be a playoff team, but this AFC is just very competitive. It's the complete opposite from the NFC. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers make the playoffs, but I would be a little bit surprised because I didn't have them there. And I'm right.
Yeah. That's weird. They changed the script on you.
Yeah. And then I have the Browns going 8-9.
Oh.
I remember, like we said in the AFC North episode, like, I think all these teams are good. I think the Browns have a good roster, but like not everyone in this division is going to make the playoffs. And who do you think is going to screw up the most? And it's like definitely the Browns. And so I got the Browns being in the bottom of there. But again, I wouldn't be too surprised if they, got a wild card spot. But I would be a little bit surprised.
Yeah. My turn. The Bengals. I had them going 81. Same as you. And then I have my Steelers above the Ravens because I think
Your Steelers.
my Steelers. My Steelers above Kylie's Ravens. I think the Steelers are better than the Ravens, honestly. And I think they have a lot of young talent that was just through their first year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they can be really good. And they
His name is Kenny Pickett.
Well, and
George Pickens. That's
George
right.
Pickens, and there's a couple other guys I can't remember, but they had a good draft pick too. I can't remember that one, but I knew it was good. And
This past year?
yeah, I think so.
Oh, man, I don't remember who they drafted.
I can't remember either, but I saw a breakdown video of it, and I was like, yeah.
What position does he play? Do you
I
remember?
can't. No,
I don't remember either.
I think they got a good tight end
He was probably a linebacker. They always take linebackers.
or linebacker. Yeah, they're obviously not going to have a 500 record. They're going to be above it.
Unless they go 8-8-1.
Or unless they do that. And then I have the Ravens at a 73.5, which is crazy because when we had our guest on, she had them at
20 points more.
Almost 20 points more, which is insane. And then I have the Browns at a 68.5, which crazily enough is higher than every team in the NFC North and
I thought you were about to say every team in the NFC.
Every team in the NFC North and South.
Wow. Browns should change divisions.
Yeah,
go to the South.
For real. My predictions are right, and they're higher than everybody in the AFC South except for the Jags. And then overall, they are 301.5, which is the best division in football.
Yep. I'd agree, though. I think that the AFC North is the best division in football.
It's close, though. It's close with the East, which we'll get to in a second. But my predictions, I also had the Bengals going 13-4, getting the 2 seed actually. And yeah, they're going to be good. They're not going to be bad. And then I have
as long as Burrow's there.
As long as Burrow's there. And then I have the Steelers taking the second in the division.
Wow.
I think they're better than the Ravens, and it's not like a lot, but I think it's close.
I thought you were about to say it's not even close.
It's not even close. They're so terrible. But I have
Terrible
the Steelers
times.
going 12-5, which is maybe a bit high.
Does that give them a playoff spot, I'm assuming, then?
It does. It gives
better.
them the 6th seed.
Wow.
And then, which is crazy, yeah. And then the Ravens are at 11-6, just barely missing it, but it makes them the 8th, not the just right out. And then that spot's actually taken by the Chargers, which I didn't say earlier, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Browns 7-10, still good, but they're just in a really, really hard conference and division.
I still think it'd be really funny if you had your predictions there and you just had the Ravens going like 5-12.
I do think that would be funny. I should have done that. I'm going to go back and do that.
I'll have to re-record this part. But yeah, I think it's a very competitive division. But I also think like the Bengals definitely win it unless there's an injury, which I hope not because I love Joe Burrow. He's so good at football and he's handsome. What the heck?
2 things at one time?
Multitasking. I thought that was for women, but apparently also for Joe Burrow.
Whoops.
That's why the ladies love him. Yep. That is the AFC North right there. I don't have any other words.
You had a lot of words you were saying.
Yeah, and I'm out.
Okay. Go to the West.
Lead us through the
No,
East.
you lead us through the
Okay,
the
John's
East.
smoking a cigar. He can't talk right now.
Uh-huh.
We got the Buffalo Bills
What,
leading
what?
the charge there with 80 points. Behind them, you got the Miami Dolphins, 71, 9-point difference. Then you got the Jets and Patriots, both with 68 points for me. And how did that translate to my predictions? Well, I had the Dolphins winning the division at 12-5. That's the 3 seed in the AFC. I have the Jets going 11-6 with Aaron Rodgers and company there. That's the 5 seed. And the Bills missing the playoff. Not actually. I have them going 11-6, getting the 7 seed. Does that be really funny if they didn't make it?
That's wild.
But yeah, 11-6. I have the Bills. They're starting off all right. I can actually look at the games here. But I have them going through like kind of a big losing streak. You're like 1, 2, 3, 4 games in a row. Actually kind of early on in the season. So I think they're going to, for weeks 1 and 2, they're going to be the Bills that we all know and love. And then they're going to really struggle. And I almost think that's what the Bills need is because like there's been like so much expectation on them to, go 13-4 and then go all the way. And then I almost think it would help them to like go on the road and like as that bottom seed and then be that underdog that goes all the way to the Super Bowl. But we'll get to our playoff predictions here in a little bit. But yeah, Bills 11-6 getting the final seed in the AFC. And then you got the New England Patriots at 8-9. I think they're an all right team. Already talked about them a lot in the AFC East episode. Good defense. Do they have anything on offense? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows at all. I have my Bills are at an 81, so it's just 1 point above yours. Could have had 3 bottles of champagne, but no. And then I have the Jets, second in the division, at 78. And then the Dolphins at 73, and the Patriots at 66.5, making an overall of 298.5, just 3 points below the North, and 5-6 points above the West.
So it's all pretty tight.
Pretty tight, and then the South is there too. And then that translates into 14-3 for the Bills. And I did not have the Jets in the second place. I was lying with it.
Man.
Me and you were both lying with it, apparently.
Yeah, I was lying big time in the East.
Big time liar. And then I have the Dolphins going 12-5, getting the 5 seed, and then the Jets going 10-7, missing out on the playoffs. And then unfortunately, I I rated the Patriots as well, and they're 3-14, which
there's no way.
There's no way. I don't know what I was.
Mac Jones' leg could fall off, and it wouldn't matter because Bailey Zappi is just a Mac Jones clone.
Yeah, and they had another guy in there too, right? They had 3 of them.
Probably. They got the Lamar Jackson clone in there, the undrafted player from Louisville.
That's kind of cool. But yeah, I don't think they're going to go 13-14 or 3-14. They're not that bad. But I was just like, every one of these games, I was like, yeah, they could probably lose that. And they'll probably lose that. And they'll probably lose that. And then they won against like
And they swept the Bills.
and they
who do you have them beating? Just the
they beat the Saints, they beat the Raiders, and they beat the
streak.
Colts.
Beat the Colts in Germany.
They beat the Colts in Germany. I think they could pull
rough.
off a couple more, but they have a tough schedule.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, the Bills, they lose against the Bills. They could win against, I guess, the Jets, and I guess it's Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, Cowboys, and then they win against the Saints.
That's kind of a rough
Raiders.
start, though.
It is a rough
Even
start.
with the Saints.
And then Bills and Dolphins again, and I think they lose to the Commanders, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they can win against the Colts, and then they might win against the Giants. I think they lose against the Chargers, and I think they lose against – I think the Steelers are going to be really good. They lose against Kansas City. They might win against the Broncos, but you think they're going to be good. They lose against the Bills, and they lose against the Jets, and that's the rest of that's the whole year.
It's definitely not the easiest schedule, but there are no Texans at least. At least they won games.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that's crazy. You have it at 3-14, but like if you look at it's just
it is crazy.
Okay. Yeah, freak you.
All right, so for playoffs then, so based off of our perfect predictions, because they're both perfect,
yeah.
What do you got going on there in Wild Card Weekend?
Wild Card Weekend. So I have my bye rounds, my first seeds. I have my Bills and my Eagles.
Yep. Oh yeah, you want to list what your seeds are in the AFC?
Sure. I got Bills at 1, Bengals at 2, Chiefs at 3, Jags at 4, Dolphins at 5, Steelers at 6, and Chargers at 7.
I got Bengals 1, followed by the Chiefs, Dolphins, Jaguars, Jets, Ravens, and Bills.
That's crazy how the Bills that low. Goofiness.
Let's see how crazy it gets. What do you got Wild Card Weekend then?
Wild Card Weekend, I have people.
I can do mine if you can't find yours.
No, I can find mine. I'm fine.
You want to go back one more?
Oh, my goodness. I'm stressing out.
Wild card.
Oh, wow. Okay. I can read, kind of. I can't read. So I have the Dolphins against the Jags, and I think the Jags are going to – they're not facing the Chargers again. I think they lose.
It's true.
It's the 4 seed Jags against the 5 seed, and I think they lose against Tyreek Hill's Dolphins.
Not Tua's Dolphins.
No, it's not Tua's. And then it's the Steelers versus the Chiefs, and the Chiefs just wipe the floor with the Steelers. And I think it can be a close round between the Chargers and the Bengals, but I do think the Bengals pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the NFC, I have the Cowboys versus the poor Panthers, and I think the Cowboys just annihilate the it's not
Bryce
close.
Young dies on the field.
Micah
Parsons eats him for dinner.
Breakfast and dinner and lunch, all of them. And then I have the Packers and the Lions. I think the Lions beat them. I think the Lions beat the Packers. And then I have...
That'd be rough to be their second win in the modern era in the playoffs.
I think it could happen, though, honestly. I mean, they have a better quarterback from what we've seen. I think they have better weapons and hopefully a better defense.
Yeah.
So I think they could win it. And then I have the Niners just blowing out the Seahawks.
Again, just like last year.
Yeah, but they made it to the playoffs. Good for them.
Take us through your full predictions. I think that'll be easier.
Yeah. And then I have my divisional round. I have the Chiefs beating up on the Bengals again. And then my 1 seed is the Bills. I have them beating the Dolphins in a close match, and it's going to give me heartburn and stress me out, but I think they can win it. And then I have crazy, but I have the Lions beating the Niners.
Wow.
And you know what? Maybe.
It might happen.
Yeah, and then obviously I have the Eagles destroying the Cowboys because that's how it goes. And then I have my divisional rounds or my championship rounds, and I have the Bills finally beating Mahomes' Chiefs.
That's how you know it's not real.
Yeah, this is fake. And then the Eagles are just going to beat the Detroit Lions, and then the Super Bowl is going to be between the Eagles and Bills like we wanted last year, and the Bills are going to pull it off. And then you wake up from your dream, and then Mahomes wins again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my predictions.
You can dream. You can hope.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It is a dream.
Yep.
So bummer, but
all right, my playoffs in the AFC wildcard round, I got Aaron Rodgers and the Jets at the Jags. I got the Jets taking that one. Got Dolphins hosting the Ravens. I have the Ravens winning. And then you also know it is a dream because I have the Bills at the Chiefs and the Bills winning as the 7 over the 2.
I don't want to wake up.
You have the Cowboys going to the Saints, and similar to how you have them treating the Panthers, it's how they treat New Orleans. You got.
I think it doesn't matter who comes out of the NFC South.
Yeah.
They just kind of get the same.
Cowboys get to thrash them anyway.
Yeah, because
that happened last year against the Bucs.
The Cowboys are going to be the 5th seed because they're not beating Philadelphia. I mean, most likely
they're locked into that 5 spot.
Yeah.
Niners at Seahawks, but I still have the Niners winning. And then the only home team I have winning in wild card round is the Lions over the Packers. Everyone else clean away sweep, which probably wouldn't happen, but again, we can dream. And this is a nightmare for me because the Packers are losing to the Lions in the playoffs.
Sucks.
And also in my predictions, I have the Lions sweeping the Packers. So that's 3-0 against the Packers. Oh, why did my predictions change?
That sucks.
I got in the divisional round, Baltimore Ravens at the 5-seeded New York Jets, who were not expecting to get a home game, especially in the divisional round. And Baltimore takes care of business. They're a game away from the Super Bowl. And their opponents are going to be the Buffalo Bills as they go into Cincinnati and pull off the upset. No playoff wins for Joe Burrow this season. Can't lose later if you lose sooner.
What? What are you talking about?
Got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the 2-seeded Detroit Lions. They pull off the victory, getting to their first NFC championship game since like 1995.
Woo!
It's definitely a fantasy land here. And then you got a rematch of last year's NFC championship game. Niners-Eagles. Eagles kill all the quarterbacks and win by 30.
All of them are dead.
Yeah, they're dead. Sam Darnold, gone. Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, who even is that?
They need to train CMC.
Yeah, he's got to be able to drop back, throw some passes. So now, in a bizarre way, we have the 7 and 6 seed, the 2 lowest seeds in the AFC going at it. The Ravens, who are the 6 seeds, somehow are hosting the AFC Championship. The fans are like, yay, we didn't think we'd get a home game, and then they lose to the Bills.
Yay, Fantasyland.
The 7 seed, which the 7 seeds never even won a playoff game before. And so now they're going to the Super Bowl. Meanwhile,
what do you mean?
Well, the 7 seed's only been around since 2020. And the 7 seed has never won a playoff game.
Wow.
Until now.
Until they win the Super
Bowl. They win a lot. And then you got the 1-seeded Eagles hosting their biggest rival in those Dallas Cowboys. And Philadelphia takes care of business. All right. You can't have the Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
No,
right? Not that crazy.
Yeah.
So then Super Bowl 57 over in Las Vegas. Bills, Eagles. So I have the same matchup as you.
Copycat.
But I did mine like a week ago, and you did yours half an hour before the podcast.
But I presented mine first.
You did, because I let you, because I'm a kind little boy like that.
What? Okay. Yeah.
And I got the Philadelphia Eagles, the 1-seeded Eagles, falling to the Buffalo Bills.
Whoa.
They take home their first Lombardi trophy. Gabe Davis, Super Bowl MVP.
Stop.
Naheem Hines comes back from his jet ski accident. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have.
He comes back for one game and he rushes for 250 yards against the Eagles and has 4 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving touchdowns.
Yay.
Jet ski gate, but he gets it, and then they win the Super Bowl over Philadelphia Eagles. So we both have the Bills beating the Eagles, but 2 very different paths.
Yes, the 1-seeded Eagles and the 1-seeded Bills, and then you're the
Boring.
1-seeded Eagles and the 7-seeded Bills.
That's exciting.
Uh-huh.
I think that'd be fun. So yeah, we still got, of course, like a month before the season starts, like month and a half.
Yeah.
Golly. We'll probably take a few weeks off, maybe post a little sporadically over the next month and a half. I know we have at least 2 more episodes between now and the season. We have our quarterback rankings. And then we also want to do kind of like we still got to kind of figure out all what it is, but essentially like MVP predictions, offensive rookie, defensive rookie, that kind of stuff. Maybe like each of our like top 5 candidates or something. We're also trying to figure that out. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we have like David on one of those, like to get him back on since we weren't able to get him on the NFC East show. But
Yeah. So you did points for all the teams and games, right?
That's right. So yeah, I
go
went
through
through
those
and
pretty quick?
I did all points. I did points for every game because I have no life like that. And so
I didn't.
for
That means I'm cool
let's
because I
see.
don't do stuff.
So the highest scoring offense, or here's the top 5 offenses. You got the Eagles with 523 points. Second you got the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Jets for the highest scoring offenses. For the lowest scoring offenses, bottom 5 Cardinals with 235 points. Then you got the Texans, Commanders, Falcons, and Bucks. For defense, the best defense in the league was San Francisco in terms of points, 330 points given up. Worst defense in the league ended up going to the Chargers, which surprised me, but 473 points allowed. And that's how, even though they score 479 points, they go 8-9 and miss out on the playoffs, because that's like the most Chargers thing ever.
Yeah. What was those top 5 again? Because I have the top 5 from last year.
For points,
Yeah.
Eagles, Dolphins, Chiefs, Lions, Jets.
Lions up there again. Last year it was Chiefs, Eagles, Cowboys, Bills, Lions, and then Niners just outside of the top 5.
Okay, yeah, I got Cowboys at 8, Bills at 6.
Huh.
And Niners, they're kind of down there. They're 16. I got them just right in the middle there.
Wow.
I know, right?
How many points?
394.
394.
How much did they score last year?
They scored 450.
Oh, wow.
394 is less than the Raiders scored last year.
Zoinks.
Jinkies.
All right. And then point differential, Cardinals negative 218.
Golly.
And then Eagles plus 136. And Jags are second there with 89.
What are the Bills at?
Bills are 11th with 50.
That's not too bad.
But
What are
again,
the
I have them
Niners,
as a wild card.
or,
Niners are 68. Ravens 63. Packers are at 1. Them and the Saints, both plus 1 point differential.
Is there any team that's above 500 that has less than 1 point?
The negative?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I got Patriots. There's some close ones. Patriots, Rams, Giants. I don't. Are there any teams with a losing record with plus? Yeah, the Chargers plus 6, Browns plus 35,
Wow.
and missing out on the playoffs. But yeah, that's our predictions. Let us know down in the comments, or maybe I'll put a little section on Spotify. You can scroll down and let us know maybe your Super Bowl predictions or your favorite team and what you think they're gonna do. And yeah, go to YouTube, tell us that we're wrong and how we are. And if you have any ideas for episodes maybe between now and the start of the regular season that you think maybe we could do, let us know, because otherwise we probably won't do a lot.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yep, thanks for
Bye-bye.
listening, and we'll see you guys next time.